Alright, hello everybody and welcome to Zoo Tycoon Complete Collection. In this series I show you the zoos I've been building for the last couple weeks. And so I'm going to go ahead and just get started. Go into load game. I'm going to load a zoo called Cliffside Aquarium. So this map as well as the next one are custom scenario maps I found, I believe on ZooTech Phoenix. And so you can go ahead and download those there, or possibly even on Zoo Admin. It might be on there as well, I'm not sure. But for this one, it's a cliffside zoo was the idea for the scenario, and I decided to go with an aquarium theme. So we start off with a whole ton of blue stuff with the Atlantean themed paths, the Atlantean gift shop, the shark tunnel, and of course the water for the exhibits. So I decided to offset that with some yellow flowers here around our central courtyard. I think it really worked pretty well. Off to the sides of the central courtyard plaza area, I have two different penguin habitats, the Gentoo penguin and the king penguin, with an underwater observatory area there, an overland observatory for this one. There's also some underwater observatory there, or observation area, I should say, and an overland observation area for the king penguins. Now, as the name might suggest, this is a cliffside zoo, so there's this area up here, and then a giant cliff where you then go down toward the beach. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap around the entire orbit of the zoo here. So going up here, we have the harbor porpoises. And now the harbor porpoises and these two penguins are both modded animals I downloaded. I think you can also find these on ZooTech Phoenix. I think actually the porpoises might be on Zoo Admin, actually. I don't know. I don't have it all memorized. There's the green sea turtles here. I use the modded brick wall tank walls for this central area here, only for these two habitats, so it really makes them stand out, but they stand out across the entire zoo since they're right in the middle. These habitats here are for the Pacific octopus and the moray eels. I really like how I designed this flower bed area with the fountains. I think it helps to really liven up the area as well as provide something to kind of divide these pathways up a bit. So it's not just a big block of paths. Over here is the giant squid habitat. And it's got like a rock observation area that you're kind of walking through, so you're kind of walking through a tunnel into the abyss, so to speak. At this point, the staircase starts going downward as it starts going down the slope here toward the Atlantic swordfish and the show area for the dolphins. I have these palm trees and fountains and ivy top posts over here, kind of framing the grandstands for the show. It goes down another small staircase to this food court area, then down another small staircase to where you have the dolphin observatory. I also really like what I did here with the benches and the flower gardens and stuff like that, and I just really like how this pathway turned out. It's a really cool design, in my opinion. Right here we have the American alligators. And you also have the bluefin tuna right here. This is the point where we start reaching the beachfront. And so we have our mako sharks here, as well as tons of shops, boat rental shacks, swim with dolphins, Lobby's restaurant. Frozen yogurt. Tons of shops along here. I believe they're all making decent money, except for this little gift stand and the sea dogs. These never make money, to be fair, these types of stands. The one that really makes money out of the Marine Mania stands is the, oh, this is scenery, is the popcorn stand. That one makes a lot of money. Don't know why the other ones don't. I think the upkeep on goes up too fast or something. I'm not quite sure. Haven't done the proper testing on that one. We have our restaurant here with our swim shack, right next to our sea otter habitat. As you see, there's a lot more guests down here than there are up here. Up here. The reason for that is because it's actually the shortest distance between the two shows. So guests keep going back and forth between the dolphin show and the orca show that I have set up. So that's what this, at the other end of this pathway here is the orca habitat with the orca show, as well as manatees. And along the way you have the belugas. Some more flower beds here, some vending machines. You can see there's like this little observation area that you kind of go downhill for to see the California sea lions. I have this pathway area kind of raised up, and so as you can see, the beach kind of comes down. So the sea lions are built into the ocean, and then I kind of raise this area up to create this pathway, which leads to our giant pier that we have sticking out into the ocean. So we have our emperor penguins that you can see from this pier. There's some shops, carousel, cinema, and then at the other end of the pier we have our whale shark habitat. And I left this area kind of open. I just kind of want some open ocean to kind of work with and kind of provide a bit of a backdrop for the zoo. So yeah, I really like this zoo design idea with this giant cliff here, kind of dividing this area into an upper and lower section. As a result, I kind of had to delete one of the cliffs here and build a staircase because otherwise guests down here would have gotten lost very easily, not been able to get back up to the entrance very well. So I did that to kind of create a giant loop, which works a lot better. So yeah, I really like the zoo. Really like how it turned out. Let's go ahead and check out the other one. Oop, I accidentally clicked outside the window. There we go. No, I'm not going to save. This one is simply called Castle Map. I have not actually named the zoo yet. Um, so this one I'm actually going to go ahead and do kind of a grand reveal. I'm going to go ahead and just show you this entrance area first, and we'll kind of work toward the main centerpiece of the zoo. So near the entrance here, we have a tiny alcove right here, which overlooks the Mexican gray wolves. And then there's this other area here that overlooks the grizzly bears and the bison. So around this entrance area is kind of a North American theme. Then you come across this monstrosity. So what this is actually a scenery set. If I can go ahead and find the things I'm looking for right here. Yeah, so these are like aviary pieces. So you can actually build like a giant glass aviary. I decided to actually make it like a South American themed sort of animal house. I see some trampled terrain there. So in here we have our jaguars, our toucans, our giant anteaters, our Galapagos tortoises, and our harpy eagles. The eagles, tortoises, and toucans are mods. Not exactly certain where I got them from. They're either from ZooTech Phoenix or from Zoo Admin. Those are the only two sites that I really download mods from for the most part. There's a couple other small ones, small sites that have like an individual mod here and there. But most come from Phoenix and Admin. Over here we have a small Chinese themed area with wild horses and the Chinese alligators. It goes up here to our animal houses, the insect house, the aviary, nocturnal house, and then to a Japanese themed area where I have Japanese seros, and then up on top of this mountain I have a Japanese garden. Now this looks like a lot of wasted space, and in a way it kind of is, because this entire area does not have any animals and not even really much for buildings. A lot of it is just this kind of slope for the mountain here. But because of the main centerpiece of the zoo, I really didn't feel like it was a huge deal. Um, the zoo is more about aesthetics rather than function, and so while it does function well, I believe it's fairly profitable, or not. Maybe it's not at all. Maybe I'm wrong. Uh, I think a lot of that's actually construction costs, though, if I look back at it. Yeah, there's a decent amount of construction costs playing into this, and animal purchase costs. So that'll be going down now that the zoo's complete. So it is actually profitable, it's just kind of deceiving. But because of the main centerpiece of the zoo, it's more aesthetic, and so I went ahead and just left this mountain that was here and just decided to build a Japanese garden on top of it. I think it works pretty well. All right, so if I go around this way, because again I'm trying to kind of keep the centerpiece of the zoo a secret for now, we have our African themed area along here, and so we have our giraffes up here, our zebras, our lions, and our African elephants. With one of these elephant annexes, that's one of the best mods in my opinion, because a lot of zoos have these annexes to shelters for things like elephants and giraffes and stuff. So the fact that they added that in this game, pretty cool mod, in my opinion. As you can see right here along this main pathway, we have Javan rhinoceroses, alongside more animal houses up this way. Crustacean house, tropical aquarium, primate house. This kind of dovetails into a small aquarium section. With having done an aquarium zoo already, I didn't want to have a huge aquarium section, but I felt like it would be missing something if I didn't have at least some dolphins or something. So I added dolphins, belugas, and emperor penguins up here. One of the things I like about the zoo that I did was I have these constantly changing pathways. The zoo actually comes with some of these thatch pathways and cobblestone pathways, so I just kind of kept doing that with more themed pathways for the different themed areas. So I have this wooden pathway here for the marine area. This wooden pathway is actually a mod. It's not the default wooden pathway. Right here we have the Congo, and so we have our mandrills, our chimpanzees, and our okapi. A very quiet area of the zoo. It used to be very busy, actually. The okapi should be a still decently popular habitat. Yeah, even though there's not very many guests here. All right, and I'm sure you've been seeing it now. The centerpiece of the zoo that's a massive waste of space, but it looks cool. It's a castle. So we have our giant rampart walls with our towers here. Uh, it did not come with these flower beds. I added them. And inside of it, I decided to make it a Southeast Asian themed area. And so inside we have our Asian elephants, our Komodo dragons, our Malayan tapirs, our orangutans, our clouded leopards. Yeah, there we go. And our Bengal tigers. Added these observation areas with the Southeast Asian themed canopies, as well as some of these Southeast Asian themed fencings. I really like how this turned out. There's even some shops and stalls up on the outer rampart walls, which are fairly profitable actually. And then one sneaky little exhibit on the backside here is the black bucks. Right here, black bucks. And so you can actually see those from this rampart wall here, where you can see through the gaps. Again, another really cool zoo idea. And this giant castle in the corner, kind of overlooking the entire rest of the zoo. Yeah, I really like how this all turned out. These flower gardens along here. I've really grown to like the flower gardens. Now they have a lot of mods for flowers. I pretty much don't use the default ones anymore. So yeah, I really liked how these zoos turned out. If I go back to the main menu, no, I'm not going to save. And I could go in here to... Is it in my saves? No. Where is it at? Save games, there it is. I can actually pull up the original maps, what they used to look like. So we have our... It's not Paradise Beach. Where's it at? Trying to find it. Here it is, castle map. So this is what it actually originally looked like. As you can see, not a whole lot. I mean, you have this giant castle, and there's these little farm plot looking things. But yeah, all of this was asphalt, and I changed everything. Uh, Editing all this took a long time. Took probably a good 3 hours just on the castle. And then there was probably another hour or two working on the aviary area, the Amazon house that I was working on. Because those are kind of a pain in the butt to build. This game's not designed for 3D building in the slightest. But if I go back to it here, yeah, I think it all came out pretty well. All right, well that's about all I've got. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit the like button down below and subscribe if you haven't. And there's also links down in the description for all my socials, including my Discord server, where you can talk to me about this game or any other. Thank you. Have a great day.